Like others, I was confused and had plenty of questions on why Tupac's name was changed to Makaveli, but more importantly, I wanted to know who the person was exactly. During my studies, I found that the person, Tupac Amaru, and Makaveli had more than a little in common. Niccolo Makaveli was born in Florence, May 3, 1469. He had a great interest in politics and political philosophy, military theory, and history. He was also a historian, as well as a politician, diplomat, philosopher, humanist, and writer. He would write comedies, poetry, and also write carnival songs. He was secretary to the Second Chancery of the Republic of Florence from 1498 to 1512, when the Medici were out of power. He wrote the book The Prince after the Medici had returned to power and he no longer held a position of responsibility in Florence. He is responsible for the term Machiavellianism, which means the empowerment of cunning and duplicity in statecraft or in general conduct. To put it simply, it is a word used to describe a person who is unemotional about deceiving or manipulating others. There was a test developed in the 60s by Richard Christie and Florence L. Geis to measure a person's level of Machiavellianism, called the Makaveli test. Their Mach 4 test is a 20-statement personality survey that became a self-assessment tool of Machiavellianism. People who score high on these tests were known as high Machs. For instance, high Machs usually endorse statements such as, "Never tell anyone the real reason why you did something unless it is useful to do so," but didn't endorse statements such as, "Most people are basically good and kind," and "There is no excuse for lying to someone else," and they don't believe that anyone who leads a clean and moral life will ever get ahead. This was the same type of thinking that was expressed in the book The Prince, which was used to characterize politicians. Now, if you watched the last video and clicked the link in the description, you would have realized that this is similar to the way the Jesuits think. I posted another link to a video that goes into more detail of the Jesuit oath and their ways of thinking. Makaveli also endorses the Jesuit statement, "The ends justify the means," which is a belief that violence may be necessary to stabilize power and introduction of new legal institutions. For instance, Adolf Hitler thought it was necessary for the German government to eradicate the Jews to successfully get Germany's economy going again. Machiavelli believed that religion is man-made and that the value of religion lies in its contribution to social order, and the rules of morality must be dispensed if security required it. He believed that religious sects last from about 1,666 years to 3,000 years each time, and that Christianity would be coming to an end around 150 years after his time, which was around 1677. But needless to say, he was very wrong. He also believed that Christianity makes men weak and inactive, and it delivers politics into the hands of wicked men without a fight. Now, most people say that Makaveli was most known for faking his death, but as I looked into his life, it seems that was only a myth. People try to correlate Tupac using that name as a way to suggest that he is still somewhat alive. Personally, I think it's much deeper than that. Both the names that Tupac used were after men who had Jesuit ways of thinking, which by now you should understand that went against the moralities of God. I personally think that this was a way to heavily promote the Jesuit belief in the hip-hop industry, since hip-hop seems to glorify rebellion against God. This undoubtedly proves that hip-hop is not of God.